It's YouTube, babies. So I was reading that Walt Simonson. I read the first trade of it, of his run, and he had that fun little cameo of Clark Kent, which I enjoyed.
hmm
Did he ever draw Superman normal? Because it was a good Superman. He draws a good Clark, I'll say that.
Um, I'm let me double check this, but I'm pretty sure he does in his Orion book.
Okay, never a straight Superman run or anything like that.
I don't remember.
That was a joke too that had me just laughing because the guy's like, because he's working that construction job, doing shit that like a normal human can't do. Like, I know who this is. It's Spider-Man.
He might have done, it looks like he might have done a special or like an
Okay.
annual.
So yeah, I mean it was a good Clark Kent. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think it looked great. Yeah, there's a book out there called Superman Special by Walt Simonson.
Okay. Nice. I'll have to check that out some year because I still gotta get through everything else.
I know. He also, I'm pretty sure I got it for myself, but whenever they were doing Superman Red and Blue, he did a variant cover of him smashing Superman like Bill does the Thor logo on
Oh,
that one
okay, yeah,
issue,
that's
and
pretty
it's
awesome.
it's really good. But yeah, I'm glad that you're liking it, man. It's there's a reason I bring it up all the fucking
Yeah.
time.
Dude, it's one of those things though where like since I don't know exactly like the time frame since this is all in trades and when I read Thunderstrike that was all not really collected but so I don't know the time so I was like did this happen before or after Thunderstrike because since he loses the Donald Blake thing and I was like and I checked and this is before Masterson was ever a thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
so it seems like when Ron Friends took over, they're like, we want to bring him back to square one. So that's why they brought Masterson in instead of, doing the Blake thing again.
that makes sense. Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, Thunderstrike was like 89, 90, wasn't he?
Thunderstrike was 90. It was 90s in general. And Masterson, though, when he took over, it was in the 90s.
Okay.
Like late,
Right. I'm pretty sure Walt stuff was like 87.
yeah.
So, but yeah, it's good shit. He's
hmm
he's Walt rarely misses. I'll say that.
Yeah. Like I will say it's one of those things where like we get this a lot with comics now too, where I'll be like, I don't need to see Volstagg sitting on a guy while I'm like all this cool stuff with Better Ray Bill and Thor's going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's get through this Volstagg stuff and get back to the cool stuff. Like Sif's like fighting an army that cuts to back at Volstagg telling a story. It's like, guys, don't be doing this. Don't cool me down
Yeah,
this way.
I know. They like to sprinkle in their hokey shit, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
But for the most part, the jokes are usually pretty good. It's just like I said that the Volstagg cooldown is just my least favorite part.
Yeah, fair enough.
Did
But if that's the worst you have to say
yeah
about it.
yeah, and it's like his art style's like damn near just the perfect for that stuff. It's
hmm
great. Did you ever read? So I know you have a lot of Thor. But I know you don't have all of it, obviously. But did you ever read the Thor? This would have been probably early 2000s, like really early 2000s or late 90s, where he fought Gladiator, but it was a Gladiator from the future.
I don't think so.
All right, because I always liked Gladiator, and he was on the cover, and this was like Thor. I think was back to being Donald Blake again at this time, because I remember how it ends. Like he Gladiator kicks the hammer out of his hand in the first issue. I didn't get the second issue, but he kicks the hammer out of Thor's hands. Thor loses his power, and he's on fire. And they're like, Donald, or whoever his human host was at that point. And then the next issue he wins. He beats Gladiator, like old Gladiator.
And did you feel like he shouldn't have back then
I
or even
mean,
now?
so I didn't ever read the second issue because it was Walden Books days, and I never came in whenever I could get it, or I just didn't have money because I was, it was like I was probably like 8 or 9, so I really, don't know how it ended really. I just know that ends up winning. There's also a
Looks like it
Lady
happened in
Thor.
Fantastic Four.
No, this was a Thor book. I know that. There was a Lady Thor that was also in it.
Okay. Because in Fantastic Four 335 or 338, the cover is those two fighting, and it says this is
Okay.
the big one, Thor versus Galactus or Gladiator. Huh. Well, maybe I mean, they could have thrown down more than that
Oh
one
yeah.
time.
Because
So,
they in this one I think this might even be a picture from it. So
okay.
because they in this fight they're like, oh, I've met him before, but this was a much older version. That's that's what Thor says. So like, I remember him being in a different comic book.
Yeah. Um, Thor 445, maybe, if you want to
Um,
Google that.
so I got this doesn't look like the right cover, but it seems like the it'd be the right era. It'd be Thor 35 by Dan Jurgens.
Okay, sure. I need to read Jurgen's run. I've read bits and pieces, but I hear that's actually really good.
I'm sure it is. He can handle that type of character pretty well. I know I've seen some pictures from his like some of the stuff that he did with yeah, see that would be Tool, that Thor right there.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like it's definitely happened more than once.
Yeah.
Because where was it? Oh, this one too. See this Fantastic Four.
Okay. I think Dad had the one before that because like that's a really cool Gladiator cover where he's just beat the whole Fantastic Four and like he's holding thing up with one arm and he's got like Reed, like all stretched out and all that stuff, which
Yeah.
sounds kind of gross now that I think about
Phrasing.
it. See if I can find that if Thor 34 is the one I'm thinking of. But I mean, I remember it being like pretty neat. Yeah, this was the cover of the one I bought. So this would have been 34, 35 was where the fight
That
ends.
is an incredible cover.
Yeah.
Damn. I
And
wonder. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's like as a kid that liked Gladiator and also characters with mohawks just in general, I was all about that.
Yeah. I'm curious if I do have that.
Yeah. I want to know like, and you might know this, but what's the history of Thor and then having the human post? Because like Walt Simonson got rid of it. I didn't even know Walt was the one that got rid of it with the Better Ray Bill stuff. Like, and then he gets Masterson back. Masterson gets it because like it didn't Masterson share with Thor for a bit, and then it was just Masterson was Thor because Thor got kicked, like exiled or whatever.
Yeah. I know that's what happened with Masterson, but before that, see, like the really old stuff is what I've read the least because a lot of
Yeah,
it is just so damn dated.
yeah.
So I don't know for sure.
Because then, but then like this Jurgens run, I remember just because how it ended that Thor had another human, and I think he must have been Donald Blake again because he was like a EMT though, because like, I remember that's how it had, so I didn't
Right.
know if if it's like for some reason they bring that enchantment back because Odin got mad at him again.
Sure. Where is let's see here. You said that was number 35.
34 was the one that I had. 35 is where I think it ended. It was like the part two of Gladiator art.
Okay, but 34 is the one that had that dope ass cover
Yeah.
you just told me. Okay. Yeah, I don't have that one.
Oh, okay.
I okay, collected. I'm
So,
missing like maybe like a good 20 issues, single issues from that run.
okay. Now I gotta, this is just like I know you said you haven't read a lot of Dan Jurgens, but like from my limited knowledge, he'd be like if you had a Mount Rushmore of Thor writers, he'd be like the fifth, the one that just got left off, pretty much, right? Because wouldn't it be like
Yeah,
Kirby, Simonson, JMS, and then Ron Friends? Because those are the ones that I think of when I think of.
for me
Oh wait, Jason
personally,
Aaron
I
probably
would
instead of Ron
swap out
Friends.
Ron Friends for Jason Aaron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, fair enough.
But yeah, Thor's kind of been blessed with like a lot of good writers because he's
Yeah,
also had like Matt Fraction and Ron Friends, like you said, and Donnie Cates was really good.
but like I'll say those other ones though. I mean, I'm not ready in the Kirby stuff, obviously, but he he did make it, so he can't, you know. But like with the other ones, it's like those ones had the most seemingly important stuff to happen in them, you know. Because
Hmm.
I've read all of Fractions run, and it's like he did stuff with Donald Blake, which was, neat, but really he didn't do anything that was like, huge shift in the Thor
No,
mythos.
I think Simonson, um, I think Dan Jurgens did too because Dan is the one that did the whole like OP King Thor with like the
Oh,
gold on him and
okay,
stuff like that.
yeah. I
That
remember
was
that stuff now.
Jurgens.
Okay.
Um, and then you have to argue Jason Aaron
Hmm.
gave a pretty big shift there too. Not just with Jane, but just like God of Thunder. I mean, people
Yeah,
still talk about that and it came out in like 2012.
yeah.
So
And then JMS brought him back. I'm not a big JMS fan, but you know,
that stuff is so good though.
yeah. I'll say this too, though. It's like they JMS and Jason Aaron both just had dynamite, right? Or artists to go along with what they were
Yep.
doing, you know?
Assad Ribic and Olivier Coipel. I mean, God, just two of the best to ever do it.
Yeah. It's like, boy, could you have gotten anyone more perfect to to do this?
Yeah. All right. Shall we do the episode?
Yeah, let's do it, man. What's up, everybody? It's Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Hulk Hogan to my Jimmy Hart. It's Jake. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I'm not gonna really say R.I.P. Hulk Hogan, but I'll just say he's gone.
Yep.
Sorry.
He was with us, then he wasn't.
Yeah,
Who's Jimmy Hart, though?
he was a old manager, and then also like anytime that Hulk would then end up doing stuff, he was always like there with them. Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. He had a megaphone. He'd yell a lot.
I just Googled him, and I'll be honest, he looks fucking insufferable.
I mean, that's kind. I think that was kind of his thing.
Fair enough. I mean, so like when you were a kid and stuff, were you a Hogan fan? Just like
So,
just wrestling wise.
okay, so when I was a kid, this is the funny thing. Like when he got when I got a little bit older, I liked him okay. Or when he came to WWE, I liked him. But I didn't watch a lot of him. My cousin was a huge Hulk Hogan fan, even when he was like the bad guy Hulk Hogan, like Hollywood. I didn't really like him because he was a bad guy, though, for me.
Hmm.
So I was like, nah, I don't. I'm not gonna have the white and black run wild.
So how did that work? Because I always heard that it was like in Hogan's contract that he couldn't lose or whatever.
I mean, he's very political with his stuff. That's what ruined a lot of different things. But when they went to WC when he went to WCW, they did this big out like one of the best swerves of all time. The Outsiders were there, and they're like, "Oh, we got a third guy," and they were running wild all over WCW. And then Hogan came out, and he chased them off, and then he betrayed WCW and leg dropped Macho Man Randy Savage. Turns out he was the third guy, and everyone was losing their mind. And then they just like I said, he had creative control over stuff, and he just wouldn't put people over. And they had this whole thing where Sting was in the rafters watching them and stuff. And then when like they're like, no, no, you have to lose the Sting. So he's like, okay. And then he like kicked out at his finisher. So like they made this like they had this like wonky finish. So like Hulk still looks strong even though he was the bad guy and stuff. It's just like should just let Sting win clean.
Right. Yeah, I don't so has there ever been like a bad guy that you did root for then?
Like when I got older, there was a lot that I did because it's like they're usually more fun. Like I used to be really big into CM Punk and he was, usually a bad guy. But now I'm just like, he's just kind of a bad guy in real life.
My buddy John loves CM Punk.
I used to, then I was like, oh, dude, he's just he's not the world's biggest, but he's a huge hypocrite. I really can't get behind that.
Yeah.
He'd sit around and cry because different guys are using their fame to, you know, get spots in wrestling, and then he'll be like, well, I'm not appreciating this too much. I worked really hard. He's like, well, I'm gonna use my fame to get a job and write comics and in the UFC that I didn't work for. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and by the way, his Drax comic was fucking garbage.
hmm But you guys really want to read it? I'm sure you got plenty left at the shop.
Maybe, I'm pretty sure I dollared all of them at one point, but alrighty. Before we get into the news, Casey and I are going to talk about Fantastic Four because we both saw it. So I said this about Superman. If you look at our timestamps wherever you're listening to this, it will tell you when we stop talking about it. So just look for that if you don't want the spoilers and just skip forward to the news. But here we go, starting now. All right, man.
Wasn't a
What'd you
fan.
think?
Wasn't a fan.
Yeah, me either. It was just it was just boring.
Yeah, none of the characters felt like I see people online talking like, "Oh, they felt so much like." It's like, no, they really didn't feel like any of the Fantastic Four. And then you miss out on like, and I was complaining about this from the start, but you miss out on all of the character development for all of them. And it's like, oh, okay, that's something, It was just, and then I hated how they did all of their villains. It's just like, oh yeah, all of our villains are nothing compared to us because we beat them all off camera. And then later on, Reed's like, I just tipped off the police and I figured out how to capture more of our bad guys. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, cool, I guess. Whatever. It's like, I mean, I was a fan of the Fantastic Four Rogue Gallery, but you've just made them pointless for this movie. Okay.
It's just why didn't we get any of those guys before Galactus? I'm so sick of them throwing in the huge bad for movie one.
Yeah.
It
I
doesn't
mean,
make
that's
any sense.
yeah. And then I also hated how they did the Moloids.
Hmm.
Just guys.
Yep. Just fucking creeps.
Yeah.
Just anyone you'd see downtown, really.
Yeah. Someone's like,
So,
okay, this and then I thought it was
also
so
being friends with Bowman, it's like,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah. And I thought the CGI was weird because there was times where I'm like, this looks really good. Like with Silver Surfer, there's times where she looked really cool, like when she's surfing, looked awesome. But then there's other times where she's just talking. And it's like the flattest, dullest, like PlayStation 2 graphics I've seen. Like it didn't look good. And same with the thing. It's like I know why they had him wear that stupid sweater the whole time because his face looked weird at times, like to the point where it wouldn't look good if it was his whole body.
Yeah. I thought it was at its worst with Franklin a lot of the times. It
Yeah,
was just like it's clearly just a bad CGI baby. And I don't really
yeah,
care about the that kind of stuff. I can deal with bad CGI, but there's really no excuse for Disney.
yeah. No, that's the thing. It's like I don't care if it's lower budget film, but this is a Marvel movie. You got to do better.
And this is kicking off your whole next thing.
Yeah. And then like I thought it was really dumb that part when they're like Galactus at like they do the big press conference how they got there, after they just were showing how weak they were to Galactus, and then they're like, they wanted our kid. They're like, well, why didn't you give it to him? It's like, because we didn't wanna. It's like, what'd you expect that people are gonna be like, oh well, of course, your one child is more important than this whole planet. Of course we agree with you. Like that they're like acting surprised that they were upset. Like, what? What?
Yeah. I just think that's tough in general. I mean,
Yeah, but just lie.
no one's gonna give up their kid. So it's like, yes, obviously everybody should relate to that, but at the same time, I don't know. I just
Don't
didn't
tell the
like that for
public.
the movie.
Yeah, I mean, just at the end of the day, don't tell the public that the thing that's going to destroy the planet is gonna wants our kid,
Hmm.
you know. But
Yeah.
and then like, it was weird that because if I remember with my limited early Fantastic Four knowledge, Nornrad when he had his like he was his memory was like wiped when he also joined up with Galactus. So that's why he was able to choose planets for him and all this different stuff. And this is just, she's just like, oh yeah, just don't take my planet. I'll let you have every other planet out there. And which is weird to me because, because later on when Norn got his memory back, he would then choose planets that were less populated and doing that type of thing. So with this one, it is just weird that she was just like, yeah, you can have all the planets without as many people as you want. I don't care, like as long as it's not my people.
Well, yeah, but also, why did that work? Nor like Galactus wouldn't give a fuck. He'd just be like, "No, I'm here now, so I'm
Well,
just gonna eat this planet."
well, I know, but I mean, the whole point of the surfer is they find the planets for them.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just why did that work for
What do you
in that scenario?
like? What do you mean? I'm just. What do you
Like,
mean? Like,
did Galactus just really want a Herald so bad that he was like, "Yeah, okay."
I think they just convinced him. That's how they're like, if you get me, I can get you more because I can find these planets quicker and all that type of stuff,
Yeah,
and
well,
get them ready
they
for you.
could have said that.
Yeah.
But instead it was just like, "No, let me find you something." And he's just like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah. Galactus also sucked in this movie.
I hated it.
It
He
was,
looked just like a kaiju kind of instead of, and I guess he was part machine. I don't know. I
yeah.
hated the
Well,
look.
I liked how it looked personally, but then like when he gets to Earth, they're able to punch him and that hurt. Reed was able to unscrew his back, which I don't think that's a thing, and he's like, "Oh, my goo is coming out," and he had to like
Yeah,
put it
he's
back.
made of lava, I guess.
Yeah, so like that was dumb, and then Sue's just like, "I'm gonna push him with my powers."
I know.
It's like, Reed, Sue, you can't. She's like, I'm a mom. And she's like, oh, I'm really strong. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
I would argue that upon first contact, they shouldn't even be able to take Surfer personally.
Yeah,
But, and I get it, the comics are different from the movies, but it's like, dude, we're talking about Silver Surfer and Galactus.
yeah. And then,
So,
and it's like, that's the thing too, though. It's like, they really weren't able to do much to Surfer. She, outclassed him every step of the way. Then we're supposed to believe that out of nowhere, and just Invisible Woman too, is able to push, not even like hold Galactus back, push him back
mhm.
all the way.
Yep,
Doesn't make any
Surfer
sense.
literally gave them more trouble.
Yeah.
Um, Also, like, I thought it was stupid that Sue went with them into space to see Galactus when she's 9 months pregnant.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's dumb that they did use their actual baby as bait. Um,
That part was so dumb to me too, though, because it's like, boy, if you only you guys had a guy that could stretch, because instead of having to then be like really quick, like, oh, we're gonna blind him, and then do the old switcheroo on Galactus.
yeah,
It's
and
like he this omnipotent godlike being won't be able to tell that there's nothing in the new baby carriage. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah, I know. It's like it's just a clear opening. Why didn't you make it I don't know.
Yeah.
But during that part, I was sitting in the theater thinking, this is dumb as fuck. He's stretching Reed, Galactus stretching Reed, and he's like, ah! It's like, dude, we saw you get this stretchy when you were climbing the building. Why does that hurt?
It's like,
If
well,
anything, he should like. Why didn't Galactus at least go like full arm's length? That would at least be a little more believable. But he was
yeah,
just like this. I'm like, dude, that's your fucking superpower.
right.
Dumb as hell.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing too that kind of annoyed me is like, are all their clothes just made out of the oh, what is it? The oh, what is because like their costumes are always made out of that one stuff. That the I can't believe I'm blanking on it now.
Well, like spandex,
No, it's not
Kevlar. What are you looking
spandex.
for?
It's no, because it's something that they made specifically for like unstable molecules. Are all their clothes
Oh,
made from that? Because when he stretched, his lab coat stretched with him.
right.
Like at least with Sue, I can buy when because she can make the invisible force fields that go around her clothes. I can buy that with his. I was like, come on. Also,
Yeah.
that's a jacket. How's that stretching?
I also don't think that we saw him stretch enough. Like,
No.
sure, one time he reached across the lab and pulled the lever, but like, fucking have him do that all the time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just don't. He's just Pedro.
Yeah. Well, that's what they want.
I know, but
Like
I don't
have him
like it.
stretch and be like, I'm having really bad anxiety, and so they're just stretching and petting Sue.
Yeah,
She's
I
across the
know.
room. She's like, this is normal.
Yep. I I'll give some positives. I did like Sue the best. I thought she had the most personality out of all of them. Uh, the Thing, who's supposed to be the personality of the group, was just kind of depressed the whole movie, and that
And not
kind of
even like
sucked.
not even like the way the thing should be depressed though,
Hmm.
because there just wasn't much to it. And
Agreed.
same with Johnny. There wasn't much there either.
Yeah,
He was probably my favorite, but he still wasn't. There wasn't much
I
to it
thought I thought he was fine. Look, I think they all did fine. I just didn't love any of it.
because the
And,
writing wasn't there.
ladies' man Johnny, and the only time we get to see that is when he wants to fuck Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Well, then early on they were like, oh, and ladies, he's single. Like when they're showing the clips, and he's like, it's
Right.
like, yeah,
And then Reed, I just don't like the casting. Like Pedro was fine. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Being fine is fine,
yeah,
but I can't say that I liked it. There wasn't one part of this movie that was like, oh, this part's cool.
hmm
Not one. But anyway, I forgot I was saying positive. So I like Vanessa Kirby. Um, I did like the costumes. And I liked the whole futuristic 50s, 60s look of everything. I thought all that
hmm
was very cool. But that's pretty much the end of my positives.
Yeah. I like the setting, and I think, like I said, the guy that played Johnny, I thought he did okay with what he had. Same with Ben Grimm's character, but they just didn't do hardly anything. And then also, I'll say this too. I would have really liked to have seen Ben Grimm's love interest that they were like showed her for two scenes in it more because I like that actress, but it was like, oh yeah, we got the one scene where they're introduced and another scene where he sees her at church,
Hmm.
and that's it.
Yep. It's like, oh, I came to see you. And then she smiles, and that's all we get.
Yep,
Nothing.
yep.
So yeah, I don't know. Pretty big letdown. And I was talking to Casey about this off pod, and I know this doesn't matter, but Rotten Tomatoes gives this movie a higher score than Superman. And I don't get it at all. Casey didn't care for Superman either, but I did, and I feel like the general consensus is everyone liked Superman. I just don't get where they're coming up with this high score for Fantastic Four. Like
I'm
where
cu
where is it?
I'm curious if the Fantastic Four one's not going to go down though, since it's only been out for this weekend,
Yeah,
and Superman's been out for 2 weeks now. So I feel like
true.
odds are this is like because when Superman came out, I think it was at 90. like a 95 when it first came out, or 93 or something. It needs something way too high. And, and
For
so
you.
I know I had to say it, but something like that was way higher. And then now it's kind of like leveled back where I'm like, yeah, I think I still think the 84 is still a little high, but that makes more sense than like in the 90s. I feel like this will probably do the same thing. It'll probably be down to like a lower 80, higher 70 by the time it's all said and done. It'll still be fresh, but it won't be as fresh.
Right. Well, I don't know. I just don't understand the high praise.
Yeah. I mean, you should see what the letterbox score is on it too, because the letterbox one, whenever I was, because I graded it, I gave it a 2 out of 5, and the majority, it's at 3.6 right now. But whenever I first did it, it was like all fives and fours, and now the now it's like most people are at a 4.5, I think, or no, most people are at a 4 for it right now.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. I'm
So on Letterbox, you'll be happy to know Superman's at a 4, whereas Fantastic Four is 3.6. So
that I mean that does make me happy.
yeah.
I just think that makes more sense. I'll say too, I didn't know Mark Gatiss was gonna be in it. That was fun, even though he
Who's
didn't really,
who's Mark Addis?
from you'd know him if you saw him. He was the guy that played the talk show guy, the Ted Gilbert.
Oh,
He's
okay.
in a bunch of like British TV.
I gotcha.
He was really big in Sherlock. He played
I
Sherlock's
gotcha.
brother. But plus, I thought he was in Doctor Who, isn't he?
He probably was. It's like if you have a British actor and they weren't in Doctor Who, that's when you got to be like, are they really British? Did you watch Happy Gilmore too? Just speaking of movies.
No, I didn't know it was out yet.
Oh, it is, and it's like if you really like the first Happy Gilmore, you're gonna enjoy it. But if you didn't watch the first Happy Gilmore, just skip it.
Did you not watch the first one?
No, I did, but I'm just saying, like, there's parts of it that are really dumb too, but it's like it's mostly just for people that grew up watching Happy Gilmore and loving that movie.
I'll probably like it a lot then.
Yeah. Like it's kind of like the second half of it, it gets real stupid, but
Mhm.
it's got some like a lot of fun cameos. Like this isn't a spoiler, but Boban Marjanovic is in it.
Oh, nice. And
Yeah, he plays he plays Jaws's son from the first one.
okay, that's really funny. Isn't aren't there a lot of like PGA professionals in it
Yeah,
too?
you'll enjoy that more than me because like all of them I didn't know. I knew Rory McIlroy. I know his name, but I
McElroy,
couldn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't pick him out of a police lineup. The only one that I actually knew was the Santa Claus looking motherfucker.
John Daly.
Yeah, John Daly's in it, and he's in a good chunk, especially the first half, and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I was surprised by how funny he was.
I I'm sure he was just playing himself because he's quite the character in real
He
life.
I saw a clip that it was on popped up on my Instagram. He was on Tucker Carlson's podcast and he was talking about how he doesn't drink water. And it told him how many Diet Cokes he drank a day instead of water, and it was like 16.
Yeah,
I'm just like, how are you alive?
he really shouldn't be. Dude, he's always just got like a cigarette or a cigar and he fucking sets his ball on like a can of Diet Coke and that's his tea and then he'll pick up the Diet Coke and drink it. Like he is crazy.
Dude just is awesome. Like I've seen people talk about him. We're like, if this guy would have tried, he'd be just the greatest of all time, easy.
Yeah.
And like he's already in that conversation without trying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, a ton of raw talent, just not that many wins.
Yeah. Oh, there was one joke that made me chuckle. I'm blanking on it was a legendary golfer, an older guy. I'm blanking on his name now, so it won't be as funny. But he's like, "Yeah, I'd like a lemonade and iced tea." And they're like, "Oh, Arnold Palmer." And he's like, "No, no." And he says his name. I get that all the time.
I wonder who it was then.
It's one of those guys where like I even knew the name, but I just. I
Yeah.
can't remember it because this is still professional golf and I don't know that
Right.
shit very well.
All right. Um, oh, I guess to wrap up the Fantastic Four, what did you say you gave it?
I give
One
it a
out of
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I'd probably give the same score. So, all right.
For
Now we
those of you that
can.
have watched it, though, let us know down below. What'd you think? Are we
Mhm.
too harsh on it? Are you guys like, no, this is a great start? Pedro's our boy, or what?
Yeah. Let us know because I truly don't understand it if you feel that way. But anyway, now we can move on to the news. I think you've got one or two more than me, so go ahead.
All right, so I'll start with this. I'll start with this because I think this is the one thing we'll care the least about. Naomi Aki is going to be in the Clayface movie. It's gonna be one of the main characters, I guess. So
I don't know who that is.
me neither. They like when I where I saw it, they listed off some other stuff she's been in, and I'm like, I don't even know what that stuff is. So who cares? But
Yeah.
this movie might be cool, but I still don't get it. So I mean, when it comes out, I'll probably be like, oh, this is good, but I just don't get why.
Yeah. Um, okay, this isn't so much news as it is me complaining about stuff. I saw that they're doing at San Diego, they announced that they're going to do facsimiles for the first volume of Silver Surfer, and they're also going to do Marvel and DC amalgam facsimiles. I'm so fucking sick of facsimiles, dude. I don't think people realize that they come out weekly.
Yeah,
And for some stuff, it's fine. When it was just like Fantastic Four #1 and Detective Comics, 24, okay, sure. But now they've done like all of Hush. That's
that's
not that
insane.
old.
No,
They've done all of the first Secret Wars, and they're up to issue 8 or 9 of Fantastic Four first series. So now it's like, okay, now we're gonna do some 90s amalgam books. Like, I realize that some of those are like $8 or $10 books, but there's still a ton of them out there because they're 90s comics.
yeah, and then it's also like $8 or $9 books for the original, or what, $4 or $5 for the facsimile. It's like,
Yep.
what are you doing?
Yeah. And now to have all those Silver Surfer ones, it's like do the first one, do #4 because it's famously low print and there aren't that many out there. But the whole fucking series, like, I'm just so sick of it as a shop owner. I'm so
Does
sick of it.
does your shop actually sell them pretty well, or you get like a low amount because it is something that's already been out for forever?
It depends on the book. Like Superman and the Detective comic and the first Fantastic Four, sure, I got, more than a handful. But like Hush, I'm getting like 4 or 5 copies because some people do want it and they put out a fucking foil cover, which of course
Yeah,
people want foil covers. I'm just over it. It's like at
yeah.
this point, I'm gonna have to make like a whole section in my bins for facsimile books, and I
Jeez.
don't want them there.
Yeah. I got
So,
a I got another question that I was just thinking about with Hush is I don't remember which part of Hush since I've only ever read that collected, but was the issue that Jason Todd pops up even though it's Clayface considered the first appearance of the new Jason of the Red Hood Jason Todd, or is it still when he first appeared in Under the Red Hood?
that's a great question that I don't know the answer to.
Okay. I didn't know if you ever had one in the shop and you're like, oh, I can market this as the first appearance of Red Hood Jason, or
No,
how you did that.
I haven't had it in the shop, which is kind of crazy. I like if I had someone bring in some Batman books from that time period, I would probably take them just because I don't have them. But
Yeah,
no one's ever brought any in from that
I
time.
gotcha.
Same with like Batman 666 is like Damien's,
Yeah.
you know, well, not his first appearance because he first appeared as Baby, but like
First
I've
as
only,
Batman. Yeah.
yeah, I've only ever had that in one time in 10 years. Like that age
Yeah.
range for Batman, people want to keep it, which is fine. It's good
It's
stuff.
it makes me sad because I had all of Grant's run, but none of them were. bagged and boarded, so they're all in pretty beat up shape. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I had that issue and it was pretty darn good.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's just me complaining. And I think it's justified.
Yep, 100%. But in your opinion, where would you rate, or what would you have as Jason's first appearance, either in Hush or and as Red Hood, of course, or in Under the Red Hood? Because I don't really, because like
I think Under the
people,
Red Hood.
same here, because people always bring up that one, but I'm like, no, that was always Clayface, you know?
It was always Clayface, and if you don't put it at Under the Red Hood, I think you discredit what Judd Winnick did for that character, and I don't think
Yeah,
that's fair.
I
So,
agree. Okay, so here's a little bit, like a tiny bit of news. John Stamos's ex-wife, she played Mystique.
oh,
Oh, what?
Rebecca Romijn or whatever her
Yeah,
name is.
yeah, Rebecca Romaine Stamos, but not Stamos anymore. She was talked about the Doomsday movie, and she's like, apparent, like I might be done filming. As far as I know, I am, but I don't know because they haven't finished writing the script yet. So if you're really excited about that movie, it sounds like it's going to be kind of a train wreck as far as the writing goes because they're just not done with it yet and they're still filming. It's never a good sign when your actors don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean that movie's gonna be a fucking shit show. There's no two ways about it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be bad. Um, okay, so we're getting a White Tiger Reborn issue in October. Um, Marvel does those Marvel voices for like Pride Month or, Asian characters. This one's gonna be for Latin characters. Uh, I also think October is like Latin America, month or whatever they call it. So, White Tiger Reborn is going to be written by Daniel Jose Older and Cynthia Pelayo, with art by Bruno Abdias and Moses Hidalgo. And I think it's been long enough since White Tiger's been around. I think that might actually do well, especially since people are still mildly fresh off of Daredevil, Born Again. So
Yeah.
should be cool. I've seen the two covers. The covers are good. One of them's definitely like an anime style cover, which is pretty dope. So if anyone's a White Tiger fan, then put in that order at your local comic shop.
Or just contact Jake directly. He'll hook you up.
Yep, I can help you out.
All right, so this is some fun DC live action stuff. DC's hired David Jenkins of Our Flag Means Death to write an HBO pilot for Booster Gold, which, Our Flag Means Death like started off really strong for me, and then like as it went along, the less I cared about it. But still should be pretty cool. And the fact that we're getting a Booster Gold show on HBO Max is, also pretty cool. Did you ever watch that show?
No,
Or like I said, it's for me.
Taika.
Yeah, I know your favorite, but he was just acting in that, and then also had Rice Darby in it, and he was in because you watched Flight of the Conchords show, didn't you?
Yeah.
He was the manager in Flight of the Conchords, so he was
Oh,
the other
okay.
main character.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a fine show. It's one of those shows where I think people kind of liked it more than what they should because it wasn't as good as the people that were freaking out over it online were, freaking out about, but whatever. And the other bit of DC live action stuff I was going to say, Gorilla Grodd is going to be in the Jimmy Olsen show. So, I mean, like, I was wondering, do you think that means we're going to get a live action Gorilla City? Or do you think they're going to kind of go the Flash route where he's just a regular monkey that got, tested on and all that type of crap?
We probably won't get Gorilla City just because of budgeting purposes, but I kind of hope that we do. I think that'd be
I
fun.
I think I'm going to say this with the James Gunn regime of doing stuff more comic accurate. I think we will get the Gorilla City. They won't go the CW route.
Yeah, well, that would be great. That was a bit disappointing, even though Grodd didn't look that bad, but it was like the King Shark episode where they
Hmm.
dumped half of their season's budget into making those two scenes look really good, you
Yeah,
know?
and they were smart without like with the later on stuff that I would see with Grodd. I didn't watch. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it all. So if someone's watched more of the CW stuff, they can tell me. But they shot it in a way that was like, yeah, we don't have a budget, you can tell, but we're gonna try our best to make it look okay, and it did look okay. It was just
Looked
the
better than
writing.
Fantastic Four.
The writing was just the problem. Like when he tried to kill Obama, and he was like, "I'm gonna make America Grodd again."
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. So, Pornsick Pisha Shote. Um, I don't know if they actually did announce this at San Diego because I couldn't really find any news on San Diego stuff, but oh, you do know the answer to this?
Uh, so I know he got announced for a book. I don't know if it's the one you're talking, the Absolute Universe, but I know he's doing an Absolute book for sure.
Okay, well then it is confirmed because right before the show it was rumored that he was going to be doing an Absolute Universe book, and I think that's cool. I know Casey's a big fan of his, so we will hopefully get some more news sooner than
I
later about what that is.
so I saw on Twitter it's gonna be a book I won't check out
Oh, okay, never mind.
because it's Green Arrow.
Oh, okay.
And like I'll
I don't
say
know,
this,
but an absolute version with
that
pornsick writing, you don't think that could be cool?
it might be cool, but it's still a guy shooting arrows. I don't really care. Especially since like the pictures too, it just looks like New 50, like a little bit like a cross between New 52 and Rebirth Green Arrow. So it's like, you know, I don't know, like maybe it'll be something else is going on, but it's still like to me not that, nothing about it's screaming, oh, I gotta try this. It looks so cool and different. It's like, oh, it's more of the same with Green Arrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, stuff like I think I think Pornsick will do a good job of keeping him street level and just doing like a good
Hmm.
street level crime book with him. So I
Yeah.
may check that out when it comes out.
I'm sure you would, and I'm sure you'd probably enjoy it because you like the character, you know.
Mhm.
It's just hard for me to give a shit. So like even though Pornsick's a great writer, you know, like even when I was like, I'm gonna give him a fair shot with New 52, and I read the first issue of the
Oh,
Jeff
but
Lemire
dude.
for first two, and well, we
Oh,
we
Jeff
both
Lemire. I thought you meant like the true number one, which
no
was
no no
so bad.
yeah no I and the because we both liked the first couple, but then I was just like, oh yeah, I'm giving up on this because I don't care still because at the end of the day, it's still Green Arrow.
Yeah. Let's see here. There was one thing I was gonna add to that. Oh, never mind. I can't find it, and I'm not gonna waste time here in the silence.
All right.
Wait, go ahead.
And then our last bit of news, this is something I'm pretty excited about. We're getting a TMT Godzilla crossover comic and toy line. The comics by Tim Seeley and Pharaoh Pei. And I guess like I read a quick synopsis, I didn't read a lot, but it's like, oh, before the Foot Clan became evil, they were defenders of Japan fighting Godzilla. And so now that Godzilla's back, they're gonna be fighting him again. And so I'm like, cool. And then the toy lines by Playmates, and I guess Target's getting the first dibs on them. But it's like Michelangelo's Ghidorah, Donatello's Jet Jaguar, Rodan and Raph are together, and then I think it's Godzilla and Leo. I'm just like, yeah, why not? Cool. I'm in on it. I wish we would have got a toy line for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Godzilla one though.
Yeah, the toys do look cool for sure, but that's I don't think that that crossover is for my level of Godzilla fan. I think I would just be like, this is stupid. Where
Yeah,
you're like, this is stupid. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
My main worry and like because this is the little bit of the Tim Seeley run, which I'll get that comic, sometime this week, and I'll get to actually read it. The little bit of that run that I've read, I was not impressed by.
Yeah.
So I'm like a
Oh,
little
he did
cons he's
the
doing the
Kai one or
new,
whatever.
yeah, that's like he's the head of that Godzilla universe thing now.
Gotcha.
So, we'll see how I feel about that.
I ordered like a chunk of those books, just because Godzilla doesn't sell as much as I would like for it to. I sold out of that first issue.
Nice.
So even if it's shit, I hope that it keeps selling and they
Yeah.
keep doing stuff, even if it's not always stuff for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this, anything can be better than those Godzilla versus whatever city books. Though he did that Kansas City one. I think it's Kansas City. And I was like, I see like the people on it, and I'm like, this might not be too bad. But then I remember I thought that about the Chicago one too. And I think the LA one. And boy, for $9, I was very wrong.
Yeah. I know you're not getting it, but this week is the Boston one. And I just think it'd be so funny if Godzilla destroys all of Boston just because he hates their accent so much.
I mean, we already seen him destroy all of Boston in King of the Monsters.
True. Very true.
Don't think it's gonna get any better than that. Come on.
All right, but that's the news.
Let us know, guys. Is there anything we missed? Anything you're excited about? News related? You gonna buy the Godzilla Playmates toys? Um, any of that stuff.
Yep.
Are you Tim Seeley? Are you mad that we aren't too big of fans?
Yeah, you want to come on and talk about it?
Yeah, you want to fight about it?
Forget about it. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna briefly go through the comics that I read this week. Casey again did not get his in time, so I've I don't know, I've got a good chunk this week.
All right.
So I read Batman 161, Superman 28, Justice League Unlimited 9, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. That technically came out last week, but I didn't get them until this week. Minor Arcana 9, Wolverine 11, Moon Knight number 10, DC Vampires 11, and New History of the DC Universe number 2. Okay. Batman 161 by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. It sucks. It's not as bad as the last two, but it's still pretty bad. It's just Batgirl being mad at Batman and they fight. And then at the end, Nightwing shows up with Huntress, Riddler, Damian, and Catwoman. And he's like, stop fighting or we'll make you stop. And then it's to be continued. Art's pretty good. I don't know what the fuck Jeff's doing when his other stuff has not been that bad. I
Yeah.
really don't. Thank goodness, fucking last Halloween's been decent. All right, Superman 28. It's by Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora. Doesn't get much better than that. I also want to show my Nathan Zerdy variant cover of the Omega-fied Saturn girl. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is good stuff. I don't know when Dan Mora sleeps. No idea when he sleeps because his stuff does not wane in quality. Um, so art's very good. You know, he talks to Ma about kind of missing his friends at the Legion when he was a kid, and she's like, "Oh, just go talk to him. It'll be just like old times." He runs into Saturn Girl, who, as we know at this point, has been well, I don't know. We'll just say she's on Darkseid's side. I don't really know what the full extent of that is. She makes him see some pretty messed up stuff. And then in comes the time trapper, timekeeper, time trapper.
Time Trapper
Whatever,
Keeper.
yeah, time trapper keeper, whatever Doomsday's up to. And then we get a character that shows up at the very end, and I don't know how Casey's gonna feel about it.
Nice. I'm excited.
Yeah, because you haven't had many good things to say about this character in the past, but it's also Joshua Williamson, so who
Well,
knows?
now I just want to know who it is.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Superboy Prime.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen spoilers for that. So I mean, it's gonna suck because Superboy Prime is just written to suck. So we'll we'll see how much it sucks.
Yeah, well, he's written like a total douche in the,
Yeah.
the little reveal we get, but he looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's Dan Moore, so it makes sense.
Yep. But anyway, it was really, really fucking good. I'm at like a 9 or a 9.5 on that one. Oh, Batman, I
Nice.
didn't give a score. 4.
Okay. Now, as a I don't know if they really are, how much of it they are, but like as a Kirby boy, and I know you haven't read much of the, Legion of Superheroes, but like, do you ever want to jump in on some of his stuff? Because wasn't he the one that did like a lot of the, I don't know if he made them, but he did a lot of stuff with them, correct?
I don't think Kirby did.
Oh, they look like something Kirby would have done a lot with.
I agree. But yeah, I don't think he did much with them.
Okay,
The stuff that I've read from like the 70s and early 80s, that would have been the time that he was at DC doing Fourth World. So,
I gotcha.
but if he has, I would like to know because I'm sure it looks awesome.
Yeah, because like all of their costumes look like Kirby costumes, so that's why I was assuming.
Yeah, and have names that would fit his time
Yeah.
period. All right, JLU number 9. This is that whole We Are Yesterday epilogue by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Which, by the way, the first page we get is Dan Mora doing Harley, and I think she looks so good there.
Hmm.
Um, but I didn't mind this epilogue book. I actually liked it more than like most of the actual event itself. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff in one issue, and it just shows where all this shit's going next. So we'll see how it goes. But I thought it was pretty good. I'm gonna give it like a 7.5.
Okay.
I imagine you'll probably like it a little less just because I feel like you're not too hot on this whole arc in general, but who
Yeah.
knows?
It started off so strong and then it just got real dumb.
Okay, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. It is by Jerry Dugan and mm, I'd love to tell you. Boy, I'd love to tell you. Javier Garron. But I actually thought it was pretty neat. Um, Mole Man's digging around where he shouldn't be, and it awakens Godzilla. So, uh, he pops up, the Fantastic Four there. They try to stop him, and some of the Avengers show up. It goes poorly, and some I think like maybe some X-Men and Doctor Strange are gonna pop up next, but I think Casey will probably like it. There's one scene that I thought was pretty funny. Uh, the Thing bites Godzilla's hand, and Godzilla gets mad and throws him through this building, and it's right through uh, J. Jonah Jameson's office. And Thing jumps up and he's like, "Sorry, Mr. Jameson. Can't believe Spidey tried the lizard serum and turned into this giant monster." And J. Jonah goes, "I knew it!" And like that's all you get. But I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, dude, you were able to send this one to me last week. So I actually already read this one.
Well, they only sent me those two variants. That I
Oh,
didn't get
damn.
any of the A covers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but anyway, did you like it?
I did. It was a lot of fun.
Good. Good deal.
It's about what you expect from a this character destroys the universe type thing.
Yeah, but I a lot of these I'm like not super hot on, but this one I was like, this was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
And this cover we're getting for the next one is so good.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think I'll read all four issues unless the next one's just like so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Really
So
quick, while I'm thinking about it,
mhm.
because I forgot to mention this with Fantastic Four. What'd you think of the two Kirby related tributes that they had?
Well, I saw the quote.
Yeah, the quote was at the end, but then there's also like when Surfer first appears, there's these two people that are clearly comic book creators, and like they're
Oh,
working on the drawing board. And it's like, yeah, this guy's got to be a Santa, because like his art is like Kirby style stuff,
yes.
and
I
I was like,
did I did like that a lot. I
yeah,
appreciated that. And I also appreciated that one scene that was obviously the cover of FF number one.
yeah,
So I
that
thought that
part
was
was
pretty
awesome
cool.
too.
Yeah.
I was like, those are cool scenes. We didn't mention that, but
Yep. Yep. Gotta give him a couple of positives.
since I read this comic too, I think it's been a minute, but I think I'd probably give it like 8.5. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I'm gonna give it like a strong seven.
Nice.
Minor Arcana, number nine. It's by Jeff Lemire and Letizia Catanici. Um, I thought it was really, really good. Might be the best one yet, in my opinion. I think now I know it took a little bit for this book to find its stride, but now that it's there, I'm really eating it up. So I think Casey will enjoy it quite a bit too. We're getting some more stuff with just her discovering her powers. That one waitress gal who's looking for her brother. We get some more stuff there. And then the main character's mom's boyfriend that has that petition to stop the power plant or whatever. We get some more shady business there. So I'm just liking where everything's going, and I think it's a really good book. So I'm gonna give it a nine.
Nice. That's still not Jeff Lemire on the art, right? It's that other
Yes.
creator. All
Yeah.
right.
But her style is very similar to Jeff, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that he found somebody that like it's not jarring to go from his stuff to her stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he might even have found the same colorist,
Okay.
which I think helps. I could be wrong on that, but okay. Wolverine number 11 by Saladin Ahmed and Martin Kokolo. This is the big Sabretooth fight. Um, it's pretty good. There's just really honestly pretty brutal uh like blood and I'll even say gore in this issue. Like they really fuck each other up. And we kind of figure out what's going on with his mom and I don't I don't really so I haven't read as much Wolverine or X-Men stuff as Casey or you guys listening because I know some of you are big X-Men fans. So there's a part where we get Wolverine crying. And I realize that most of the time he is a very tough guy and he doesn't cry. But I think the way that Saladin Ahmed writes this and writes why he's crying, it's like, you know what? I think it just kind of works here.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I feel like Saladin Ahmed really gets the character. So I'm sure it probably will make some people mad to see Wolverine shedding some tears, but it's not like in, you know, the X-Men movies where he's crying over like Jean or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, he's had a whole multiple lifetimes worth of trauma that he doesn't really deal with. It's sooner or later, some of that has to finally weigh down on him.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it was well done here. Curious what Casey thinks of it. But yeah, all that being said, it still was just like one big old fight scene. So it's like if you're really into the fight scenes, that's pretty cool for just like plot wise. Not a ton until the very end. So I'm gonna give it an eight. It wasn't perfect, but it was still It was still fun, and like I said, it was a super brutal issue.
Noise.
All right, Moon Knight number 10 or Legacy issue number 250, so they can throw one extra dollar on it. It's by Jed McKay and Devmalia Pramanik. It was still fucking awesome. Art's super cool. He brings in like, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, just like D-list rogues from Moon Knight's past into this. So like, you know, Soldier and Tigra and 8 Ball, like Hunter's Moon, they all have a D-lister to fight, which is cool to see 8 Ball get some action because he has like there's this scene where you see an elevator go ding and it opens up and it's 8 Ball. He's like, "Yo, nerds, 8 Ball corner pocket," and he throws out a bunch of 8 balls that like blow up and stun the guys. And I just think that's super funny.
Yeah.
And also he fights this guy called the Jester. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard of the Jester, but he just looks like a jester,
Yeah.
and that's who 8 Ball gets. But anyway, while they're all doing that, Moon Knight is talking to what's his name? Fairchild, the Asgardian guy, because he wants this to be over with for sure. And then you find out at the end that Fairchild gets away and he's been talking to somebody behind the scenes the whole time, and it's Zodiac, who was really in charge of, him dying not too long ago. So I'm curious what that's going to be like because a part of me is like, oh, okay, cool. I like the Zodiac's kind of just this overarching villain for Jed McKay's run, but also he can't really top like Zodiac's plan to kill him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I trust him to do good. He always does with Midnight. So, plus you get to see uh Tigra just really mess up some shit, and that's pretty cool. So, 9 out of 10. Next up, we got DC Vampires World War V number 11. There's only one more to go after this. I'm going to show you my very cool cover by Homare,
Oh, nice.
but I think it's really well done. It's by Matthew Rosenberg and Otto Schmidt. Um, but yeah, so like all the humans that are left meet at this bunker with, Queen Barbara and all of her vampires, and they're like, look, if we don't band together, the new gods and Darkseid is just going to wipe out this whole planet. So we need to stop fighting to take out the new gods. And, Queen Barbara gives that speech, rallies everyone, everyone's on board for it. And then Damien comes up behind her and shoves a stake through her back and kills her. Which he's been trying to do this whole series.
Yeah.
But he's like, now's my chance. And he does it. But boy, it couldn't be at a worse time. Uh, so yeah, then everything goes to shit. They start fighting, and then the new gods fucking rip the ceiling off of this place they're all hanging out at, and it's just total chaos. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. Wonder Woman, who has been a vampire since the first series, takes over as Queen of the Vampires because nobody can really beat her in a fight. And she's like, me and the vampires will help you all, but you gotta kill Damien because someone has to answer for Queen Barbara's death. And Green Lantern Alfred is like, I'll do it. He's like, I failed this kid. He's kind of past help. I feel like I'm the one that has to do it. And Damien's like, what the hell, Alfred? Please don't. He does it anyways.
Oh, damn.
he's like, I'm sorry. And you see a tear underneath the mask and he just lights him up, burns him to a crisp. Was not expecting that.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman smiles and she's like, very good. Now begins the end. And then we get one more issue. Then we get the backup story, which is the second and final part of uh, the Shade the Changing Girl series. And it's pretty cool. Um, they find this magical bar where humans are being farmed for blood, essentially. And Shade finds out that the two friends she's traveling with, she tells them to stay outside. And after this whole big tour with the bad guy who owns the bar, she finds out that he has hooked up her two friends to this blood farming machine. So she kills the guy, sets her friends free, and decides that she's going to take over the bar and basically inject all the blood with like some happiness because that's part of her power. She can make people feel things. And that's going to be her way of making people and vampires coexist. So it was pretty neat overall. Really like this book. It's just batshit, insane, elseworld stuff that I really like. So I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Nice, dude.
And finally, we've got New History of the DC Universe by Mark Waid with art by, oh, where is it? Brad Walker and Michael Allred. And it's pretty cool. I still really like this issue. It didn't hit quite as much as the first one because the first one dealt with a lot of like really old obscure characters that I like, and I think that's pretty cool. A lot of the stuff that happens in this I mostly already knew about, but he still talks about, some pretty cool characters like the Dial H for Hero Kid that I didn't really know much about, the Metal Men. Let's see, like All-Star Squadron, Hawk and Dove. There's just like a lot of stuff that I didn't know as well, and it's pretty cool to learn new stuff. So it kind of ends with Crisis, where Supergirl and Barry die, and then like the first issue, the back is full of all the info on where you need to go to look up these events and characters. So I
Nice.
think it is so good. So I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10. I guess my pick of the week is probably DC Vampires, but overall, a lot of good stuff this week.
Yeah. Most of the stuff we were reading together too, so it's kind of a darn shame.
Yep, for sure.
But what are you excited about, man?
So I'm gonna go with Sonic the Hedgehog, The New Werewolf by Night, and let's see, we'll probably go with The Pale Knight, number 3.
Right on. For me, I'm gonna go Last Halloween, Incredible Hulk, and The Thing, probably. And also, really quick, this is something we could have logged in under news, but I saw that last Wolverine book. Did you see who the reveal is? Who the last Wolverine's going to be?
Oh, no, I didn't.
It is the crap. Now I'm blanking on his name. The the little white monster that he had in the beginning of Saladin Ahmed's run.
Oh,
Uh,
the Wendigo?
the Wendigo. Yeah, it's the Wendigo's gonna be the last Wolverine.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'll probably check that out. I'm
Oh, and
still not
he's
too.
writing it, right?
Yeah,
Saladin's writing. Okay, then
yeah,
yeah, I'm definitely on board for that.
yeah. Okay, so Fantastic Four time though. I was just thinking because mostly because of Casually Comics, she had a thing where she was talking about this one character that's on my list of obscure characters. But just give me four really obscure characters you'd love to see more of.
Sure.
And
Uh,
then and really quick too, for extra points, you can be like, oh, I'd really like to see them on this book, on this team book, or they're in their own book, however you want to do
mhm.
it.
Well, after reading, New History of the DCU, it honestly makes me want to check out Dial H for Hero. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool that he just dials that number and just gets to be a random ass superhero. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think that's a super cool concept. I know they had a New 52 book, and then I know he's like got some Silver Age stuff or maybe Bronze Age stuff, but it's like bring him back. There's so much untapped potential there.
Yeah. I remember reading the New 52 one, and it was like neat concept. It just never stuck with me, but it is one of those ones where I think as a backup, it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Shade, the Changing Girl, I talked about how that was pretty cool in those two backups and she's only had, the one series, so bring her back. Um hmm. If Our Man counts, I want to say Our Man. We just haven't had anything in such a
Yeah,
long
I mean,
time.
there's levels to the obscurity. I would say, he's not as obscure as some of them, but still, I'd still say pretty obscure.
Yeah. It's
Your
like
average
most
person's not going to know Our Man.
true. And the most we get is just him being in JSA, which has been fine, but
Hmm.
I kind of miss when JSA would like hyper focus on two to four of them at one time and tell an arc with just those characters.
Yeah.
And I guess I need to go Marvel for one of them. That one guy from the tabletop game that we played with the
Ah,
Testing Ground
he's on
boys.
my list. The Terror.
The Terror. Yeah, sorry to steal one of yours, but
Yeah.
he just came to me, so there we go.
Yeah. So, Terror's on my list. I don't know what team I'd want him on, really, with, maybe just bring back a Terror Inc. Six
Hmm.
issue miniseries. We'll just do that.
Yeah.
And then Sam Simeon is another one that's on my list. Do like have him just be, yeah, I had to have
Monkeys.
a monkey on there. I was like, a Detective Chimp, I talk about too much. So we have him in Detective Comics. Have him have a backup in Detective Comics. That'd be pretty darn sweet.
Yeah.
Then another one I've talked about this character before on here. Her name's Wild Streak. I saw her in Thunderstrike. She's this disabled character who has this armor that she can wear, lasts for about an hour, and then like they've done
Ooh,
stuff
who
with
does
her
that
after
sound
that,
like?
right? It's like, and then like, oh, she was gonna be this really great athlete, and then she got injured, and then her dad made her this armor. It's like, boy, it sounds like you guys are taking stuff from like Cyborg and Hourman and combining it, and it's like a neat concept. I would like to see more of her, and like they've done random little things here and there, but put her in, like the champions. Have her be like, 'cause now she's like the grizzled older character, so
Uh,
have her be like the older character for the champions team, And then the one that made me think of doing this, just in general, the character is Lysandria. Lysandria, Lasangre, and it's the Shade's daughter. And because if you, I think that when I was reading about it, she first popped up in a Superman comic book, but then like they had a big issue in the Shade like 12 issue series that came out in like 2015, and kind of explored more. She's a vampire. She's not his actual biological daughter. She'd be really good in Justice League Dark, I think. Just be awesome to see that, because I think she's only had the one James Robinson appearance, and that's it.
yeah, and she looks cool.
Yeah, so I'd be all about
So
that. Then
she
like,
popped up in the New 52 one?
uh-huh, because the New 52, like that Shade series, since New 52 is so like hit and miss with its continuity, it was like, yeah, all the stuff from Starman happened in the New 52, except for what they just stuff outside of Starman that they kind of want to say, like the Superman stuff didn't happen or stuff like that.
Right.
And then the honorable mention for me is Frankenstein, even though he's now less obscure since he was in the HBO Max show.
Oh, sure. Nah, he still totally counts.
Yeah, but let us know down below, guys. What are some obscure characters you'd want to see?
Yeah, I really want to know your brother Nick's answer to that,
Yeah,
if he's listening.
he'll have some good ones.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. Well, like Casey said, tell us what you think about Fantastic Four. Let us know if there's anything from SDCC that we missed and you want us to talk about, and then, you know, your obscure characters.
Yeah,
So,
we'd love to stay in chat, but I'm not gonna put this over anymore, brother. Bye.
bye. Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/2worldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.